When he did come in town, it got spicy the first day. As soon as he got in, we had sex. We fucked a lot all over the apartment. But also, there's very tall windows, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, giant windows. I'll show you guys photos, but it's like this.
In your apartment?
All around.
I think
and I have a corner.
I've seen it on your Instagram.
Yeah, and I have a corner apartment. So it goes all the way around.
Right.
And we did not close the shades.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good and the bad. And Vivian,
Shocking.
the shocking stories of sugar dating.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to Arizona.
Thank you.
All right,
Beautiful here.
before we get into your stories, and Kev's here too.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. I can't believe they had me back.
Reminiscing, it's vintage, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't believe I'm back here.
And then, of course, I got my lovely co-host in-house today, Lily.
Surprise.
Surprise.
I'm actually in town.
Yeah.
Yay.
Now, you're leaving town again next week or what?
Yes. I will be gone Thursday, Friday.
Why did you invite me to your hometown?
I didn't mean to. I just
Outlook
invited you
invite.
to my calendar to know what's going on.
Okay. There was this Outlook invite to come to her hometown for next week, and I'm like,
I just
okay,
include
let's go.
you.
Let's do it.
I just
Okay.
include you so you know what I'm up to.
Right.
You guys share a calendar now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
man.
step.
Yeah,
And
that is a
look,
big
I
step.
got a spray tan because I heard he likes the dark girls.
No, you look delightfully
Yes.
caramel, almost Halle Berry.
Or does like the dark girls?
loves a
Oh, I'm
spray
sorry.
tan.
Trucker.
Oh God. We just outed that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tan looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you
a
know,
little darker than usual. I was like, oh boy.
Trucker does have the most generic boy's name or man's name in all of America.
It's true.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
don't
You
think
gave
we
him
outed
away.
him.
I know him.
Beep. Anyway, we've had some interesting things transpire over the last week, and we'll get into some of those. Not so much in the sugar dating category, but maybe in the life category, which can be interesting. We'll catch up with Vivian and Kev real quick. What's going on, guys?
What's up with you, Viv?
What? Me? A
Now, when was the last time you guys saw each other?
few weeks, maybe?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
Oh,
ago.
okay.
He flew out to see me, to come visit me in my awesome apartment on the East Coast.
Because Vivian's on the east side.
On
Yeah.
the East Coast.
Spent a week there.
Yeah, he spent a week there, and then we were a few weeks apart, and then I was in work for San Diego about a week, and then I flew, instead of going back, I flew back here to spend a week here to visit.
Okay.
And then I'm going back this weekend.
I mean, let's just see what's going on. Are you guys still hot and heavy? Things good?
I don't know.
I mean, here you are.
I mean, we've maintained, what is the schedule? Wednesday, Sunday? Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, Sunday's like lay around and have sex day.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday is like objectification, bend over the desk day.
Yeah.
Okay.
We work and fuck, but, you know.
Yeah, just a quick, you
Yeah.
know, get your emails done.
Sometimes I'm doing my emails as I'm getting fucked from
Yeah.
behind.
And so we met those marks, and now we're just moving to
We've
Friday.
also done the Friday, what was it? Friday threesome,
Yeah.
Friday foursome, Friday
The
blowjob.
Thursday threesome, Friday foursome?
Yeah.
Well, today is, what day is it?
Okay, is this long distance and virtual or
No,
like
this
No.
is when, you know,
When we see each other.
when
in
you're
person.
I mean, it
yeah.
depends.
in the same location?
We get on a three-way phone call.
I was
and all
trying to
masturbate together.
imagine the virtual.
We haven't done that yet, but that is on my list. I really want him to FaceTime me as he has a girl over,
Yeah.
like that he calls over from Seeking, and so I want to be like, I have to be part of it, and now just FaceTime me.
Yeah, you can come in my FaceTime.
Yeah, come on my FaceTime.
So, Kevin, are we indulging in
No,
watermelons?
I
What are
haven't
we
done any
doing?
of that.
No?
No, work has been really crazy.
Yeah?
So it's like fly out to DC, spend the week there, and then you're back. I mean, it's almost every other week. Last week was different, but then I'll probably fly. I don't have watermelon time right now.
Let me
No-
ask
no
you
trifolds?
this.
No, not yet. No,
Feel you need it?
no, I don't feel I need it.
No?
Does absence make the heart grow fonder?
Yeah, sure.
No,
No, not at all.
Yeah, long distance is certainly not ideal, right? Because the distance, but it's totally manageable.
Yeah, I will say when I first made the move, I was thinking it was going to be more difficult. And there's been times, don't get me wrong, it has been difficult because I don't know anyone where in the big city where I'm at. And I don't have any friends and I don't go out often. So I don't know if I want to, because anytime you go out anywhere, it's like if it's anyone that's a male, like they're just trying to fuck you. And then how do you meet girls around my age that they have the same interests? Like that's difficult. I thought about joining a class or doing like yoga or a dance class or something, but most of those are continuative or like you have to add and grow with the class. But I've been traveling almost every week or every other week, I consistently, and over the next even 2 months, I will be going to literally like for a week or two in Australia, a week or so in Hawaii, another 2 weeks in San Diego. So there'll be times where I might not be back at my apartment for a month straight. So,
but it is true. I mean, everywhere she goes, guys are literally just selling dick nonstop. Hey, dick for sale. Dick for sale.
I
Dick for sale.
had an interaction with my neighbor at my new apartment.
Isn't it more like dick for donation?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I have some free dick here.
Yeah.
Like, free dick? Where am I ever going to find free dick?
My neighbor, I briefly met
everywhere.
at my new place, and he knocked on my door and asked if I had any boxes because he's donating some things to charity. So I gave him a box. And then a few days later, Kev is over visiting me, and we're watching something, I don't know, on television or something. And
Probably porn.
no, not then. But you hear a knock again, and we both look at each other. We look, and it's my neighbor again. And he's like, "Hey, I know you're like new here. I was going to donate."
Oh,
and
you
drop
just
this
said
off.
your real name.
I just shoot, beep. Hey,
I gotcha.
hey, Vivian. I know you're new here, and I just thought I'd drop this off to you. I was going to donate it. So whatever. And as he's talking to me, he kind of steps in, but he looks down the hallway, and you can directly see down the hallway, like Kev sitting at my table.
Please tell me it was a pasta maker.
No.
Oh, no. It's better than that.
No, it was a brand new, never been used little miniature toolbox, like really cute blue with like this little one set of everything. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I know you're like new moving here and you got a lot of things like you're assembling. So I thought this might help. And you needed that razor blade. So I just figured, I'm like, thank you so much. Bye.
That's thoughtful. I would love that gift.
Yeah, it's brand new. What's
brand
funny
new.
though is
He was
it's on
gonna
the counter,
donate.
and I was like, we should just like leave it in the hall as like garbage on the way out. But then your bed was all fucked up.
Yeah.
And we were trying to fix
How did that happen?
And then we're like, we got to fix the headboard.
Yeah, we had to fix it.
And I was like, we don't have any. Oh, fuck, we do.
have
And
a
he had the
tool
perfect
set.
tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
So we used them all.
You should give him a thanks back and be like, hey, I want you to know that was very helpful.
Like a good neighbor.
Yeah.
We knocked the headboard off
Yeah.
and we put it back on.
And we put it back on. So we figured stuff out with your.
But it's like if you left food down and you walk away and there's flies, you come back, there's flies. Anytime you're like, I'll be right back, you come back, there's always a fly or two or three, but we have the solution. What is it?
What's the solution?
The burqa.
Oh,
I said,
what
try
I
it out.
said.
Just try it out. I looked on Amazon. Burqa is the headscarf, but I
Yep.
want the full body one.
Yeah, it's Nijar. I forgot how to pronounce it. Yeah.
you think that will scare the men off?
Well, because
No.
you can only see your eyes.
Yeah.
Nobody. I've
Oh,
never
and her
se-
eyes are so ugly.
No, I'm just
Come on
saying,
now.
You can't
She
see,
has
you can't see your
stunning
form. You can't
blue
see the form.
eyes.
You just see. By the way, they also, and I don't want to go down too far down this road. If you mess with a girl in a burqa, whatever it is, there's probably a bunch of guys that are not going to be happy with it. So there's this sort of gang
that's
out
right,
there
yeah.
that might come
Yep.
get you. Secondly, they can't see your form. 3, I've never seen anyone hit on a girl with a burqa.
Yeah.
So try it out. Just
That's
wear
probably
one
so
around
efficient.
town, and you'll never get hit on. Then when you get to where you're going, you take it off.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you don't wear a raincoat. Ooh,
Vivian.
Vivian. Beep. You don't wear a raincoat inside because it's not raining, right? When you're outside, where all the elements are there, this is impervious to rain. It blocks the rain.
Where all the dicks getting thrown
Yeah,
at you.
all the dicks are bouncing off of it, and then you scuttle around town.
Yeah.
You get to where you're going. You take it off, and then you can be you, and then move around.
I bet
Subway.
I'd be so much more efficient.
Yeah.
I don't
'Cause
think
everywhere-
it matters if she's inside or outside. There's still going to be flying dicks in her general direction.
Not-
But if you have a burqa, you
Not in a burqa.
You're just that's all you see is your eyes.
But you're saying she's safe when she gets to her destination.
That's what they do in
true.
Iran.
Listen, in the office when
Yeah.
I have to go to
Exactly.
a certain building.
She walks down this. Oh yeah, well,
There's a
right.
certain building. There's a certain
Yeah, good point.
particular
Yeah,
building
yeah.
that I have to go
Yeah.
to on occasions, and I stand out I stand out so much. Like I see when I start walking, if I even wear heels or any kind of shoe that makes a little bit of a click noise, people way ahead of me will turn around to look. Just they're like, what is that noise? But in addition to that, it's like you'll see the same people circulating. If I sit down to check my phone, if I sit down to have lunch or I'm talking to a group, you'll see the same people kind of rotate through and walk by to look or talk or just constantly help me if I need help figuring out where I'm going because this particular building is difficult to maneuver around. They'll always ask, what room, what building, what
Yeah.
office I in.
So people we work with are like, what does she do here? What is she doing here? They want to know. And then you were on a trip last week, and it's a long series of events, but one of them is what they would call VIP Day.
Mm-hmm.
And Vivian asks, hey, what about VIP Day? And they're like, fuck no, we're not having a VIP Day. We will never have a VIP Day. So then they have to go drive around to inspect different places. And she's like, I'll get in the truck with that guy
With
and
the,
drive
the
around.
leader or the guy that's like, no, we don't do that. I left this place. We're not doing it.
And then after about an hour drive around, what did he say when he got out?
He was giving us ideas. He's like, you know what? We have a back patio over here we could have it here and you could host people and we could bring them through so the helicopters could land. And he had all these ideas and then he
I was like, that's what she does.
all team. And they're like, okay, so this is what she does. And my other boss, the boss's boss was very pleased with me. And he's like, thank God we had our secret, they called me the secret weapon. 'Cause
It works.
apparently it works. You just smile and laugh at their jokes.
Wait a minute.
Bat those eyelashes.
Oops.
So, Kevin, does this make you jealous at all? Or you just eat it up? You love it?
Not jealous. Sometimes it's like, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I just went away for a minute. It's not a jealousy aspect. It's more of at some point, you're like, this is disrespectful. If I was gone an hour, you'd be like, hey, bro, you left her for an hour. It's like, I'm going to get a drink. And then they're like, hey, girl, how's it going? But I'm like, enough. And, you're walking down the street, catcalling. It still exists.
Yeah.
The
that
construction
does.
guys.
Yeah, that's I've never experienced
That will
that in
never
that
go away.
manner.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Never.
Like I saw it. I mean, you see it like on YouTube and
Yeah.
whatnot, but I didn't know like living in a big city, like how you just like walk outside. Hey, girl, and there's the whistles and the
Yeah.
like, look at you, woo, like different comments. I haven't had that in my other lifestyle.
What's funny, though, is it's the evolutionary process of catcalling. I don't think ever anyone has catcalled and the girl's like, hold on, let me go fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's my phone.
So it hasn't, it shouldn't continue on in the evolution.
Doesn't
But I
work.
think there's something really fun about it. Like if I was a construction worker up on the beams, whatever, and you walk by, I would be screaming too.
Yeah.
It's like anonymous.
Yeah, I was about to say pot calling the kettle black. The world's greatest objectifier.
Only on Wednesdays.
But to answer your question about is it difficult? It's difficult to be out of town, obviously, do long distance, but we've been able to manage it well. When he did come in town, it got spicy the first day. As soon as he got in, we had sex. We fucked a lot all over the apartment. But also, there's very tall windows, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, giant windows. I'll show you guys photos, but it's like this.
In your apartment?
All around.
I think
and I have a
I've
corner.
seen it on your Instagram.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. And I have a corner apartment. So it goes all the way around.
Right.
And we did not close the shades. We did not. And now I'm just thinking, like, when I get back or when I'm around, if I exit, like, who's seen what, What
Yeah.
construction workers are going to say
Yeah,
what?
usually those videos show up on Twitter now.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, we're somewhere.
You
we're
get
on the internet
job
somewhere.
offer letters from Boeing.
Yeah, or Lockheed. There's a few big places near my place that you can see.
So, Kevin, you're not on Seeking, or you just haven't even looked at it in a while?
I've logged in just to peek around
Yeah.
for, the two of us, but I haven't,
Yeah. I just let my membership expire.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just too busy. And then plus, Alejandra's still getting a little bit jealous of me talking to all these girls.
Oh,
so.
come on.
It's podcast research, I swear.
Yeah, it is.
No, we're doing a hand job episode.
Anyway, my main source now for guests is Bumble.
Okay.
Okay, how's that work?
Well, what's funny? So I'll go through and I'm swiping, and being a typical average-looking male, older, I just don't, I don't get any matches, right? Because I'm competing against all these people. But if they have an Instagram link, then I will go follow them on our podcast Instagram and write them a message. And that's how we got our guest last week, who had her own podcast and came on ours, and it was a really good show.
Do they have sugar connections, or is this sort of like
you're
going in the wild?
It's funny.
Kimmy
You
would.
do see a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
Right. And then once they kind of make the connection that, oh, hey, I saw you on Seeking, then they start ramping up the, my time is valuable.
Oh, I saw you on Tinder too,
Yeah.
your time is not valuable on Tinder.
Yeah.
So it's been really interesting there. But
So in the hierarchy, if you were rating, if I just could riff for a second, I have respect for this person. Level 1, level 2, level 3, okay? And I saw them on A, Seeking, B, Bumble, C, Tinder. And you have to rack them in terms of, I'm just getting out. Tinder would be the bottom for me.
100%.
And then there's
Tinder,
a juggle between Bumble and Seeking. I
Yeah.
think it's smarter on Seeking.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. There's going to be people that will be on Bumble that will never be on Seeking. But the people on Seeking will be on Bumble.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's
And they
kinda-
leave all their content in there. Like, find me here. Like, they're looking for followers.
a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So anyway.
Me too. Church of Kev.
It's not going to go nuts.
What's your shirt about?
Kevin has got a shirt on that says Kennedy 2024.
Yeah.
It's a cool shirt. It's going nowhere. Unfortunately.
Throw your
but
vote away.
I like the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it should say Marcus 2024.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Now that would be a good one.
Marcus
Yeah.
for president.
I wouldn't even want to step into that mess. Although people can go into office worth $100,000, come out worth $100 million on a $200,000 a year salary.
It's amazing. the clairvoyance you get when you're
Wow.
in there. Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how that works.
Turns out there's money in government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Have you guys talked to Kimmy lately?
Yeah. Actually, I saw her last week when I was in San Diego. I met up with her and did a little meeting for her new position role. I don't know if we talk about that on here, but
Yeah, I mean, because last weekend I saw her also. We're going to get into all that, but what
yeah,
were
it was
you
good.
guys
I
up to?
actually brought her from someone from my work to her what? Her
No, I was going to say, right. So you're bridging the worlds.
yeah.
My business world and this world.
Kimmy.
You brought a person that we work with there.
Yeah, and it's funny because I texted her on the way and was like, "Hey, I'm bringing someone from work who's interested." So Kimmy does somewhat things with financial aspects of investments. So it was a little meeting, social event to learn more about what she does, which I am looking to invest more in a certain area, possibly like a REIT fund or whatnot, which is kind of what she does in that area. So I brought someone I work with who is from the other end with Kev and I, but keep in mind, no one knows we are in a relationship. No one knows about, obviously, the podcast. No one knows about Seeking. So that's been pretty fun. So I had to text her on the way saying, hey, don't say anything about this, or this, and and then I won't say anything about this, or this on your end. She's like, same, like, absolutely. And then I was like, also a reminder, Kev and I, wink, wink, with his real name, we just work for each other. But what's funny is when I met with her and that guy, we were hanging out, all talking. He went on a rant for a little while about Kev. What a great boss Kev is, And I was like, he really is.
He gives it to me pretty hard.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard.
It's a little hard on me.
I got a raise.
And it's so funny because this guy was going on and on about how Kev is such a good boss, the best boss he's ever had, how smart he is, how sometimes he does coding, but he does this and that, and he's so witty. And Kimmy and I are just laughing because we know him in a completely different light, just like you and everyone else here who listens. But it's
We
funny
know
to
it's
hear.
all a facade.
It is. Everything is
sure
a
is.
facade.
But he was just going on and on. It was funny. And I was like, yeah, don't you just love Kev? I love Kev, man. And we were just like laughing. And then later, Kimmy and I looked at each other and then we texted just like, that's so funny that it's like they have no idea,
Multiple lives.
But it was good. So I saw her for that. And then I was going to stay for the weekend, but I actually ended up having to work overlapping into the time frame. And then I couldn't really move my plane, ticket or whatnot. Yeah. And then it didn't seem like a good fit for me to attend the event that I think you guys went to at that time. So I told her I'd come do another one or something later.
Did you go to the event?
Yeah, so what you're talking about is the M.I.T.T.
Yes.
training seminar that she went through. I think it's called Masters in Transformational
Yep.
Training. Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you seen a big change in her?
So I saw her when she did it originally, right? Was it
Right.
last year or like 6 months
Yeah,
ago
it
or
was,
so?
yeah, about 6 months.
Yeah, I recall she called me right after and had a lot to say and a lot of really good things. I still see her focusing, on some good things, but she's Kimmy. She's also with her age. She's very young too. So I feel that, yeah, she has changed, but I don't see her talk to her as often as I did when I lived here, when I lived here with her. You know what I mean? So I didn't see her closely during that time. But I will say, from where she was, a year or two ago, she's in a significantly better place and more focused on future.
I mean, what's
finance
crazy is she basically gave up $1 million job
and, yeah, easily. Yep, she quit it.
a year,
Yeah.
killing it, to basically go into commercial real estate.
Where for a few months she made no money at all every
Yeah.
month. She just chose that because she
Yeah.
said she didn't feel proud of it and she wanted something in her future where when she did a position or had a role or a job that she would say, or career path she chose, that she felt proud or she would easily be able to talk about it in any situation and not feel a stigma or uncomfortable and have it based up on her body. And she had this whole, revelation, but it was mainly from that class, she said.
Right. So what do you know about the class? I just went through it this weekend.
Okay.
Alejandra
Well, I have
and
a
I,
lot
we're
of
going to
questions.
get into
Yeah.
it. But what are your thoughts? What do you know about it?
So I'm going to have a different take on it than most people may like. So I'm
What voice was that you just did? a leprechaun? What was that?
different take.
That was the voice of the girl who used to be in a cult. And
Yeah.
so now she's leery of indoctrination.
That is very true. So community groups that believe a set of standards or a set, let's just say, a motivational item. The cult that I was a part of was similar to like a Southern Baptist style, if you will. It was called apostolic, but it was very loud, very aggressive with their preaching and then
Well,
their
I was in
doctrine.
Southern Baptist. That's nothing like Southern Baptist.
Okay, but so yeah, so this is the thing is, so it seems, so I don't know a lot of, I did look it up, M.I.T.T, and I saw that it was similar to possibly Landmark and whatnot.
Yeah, Landmark is
Yep.
what my ex-wife went through.
Yeah, that's what you said before. She went through and she wrote the letter.
During
and-
our divorce.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the M.I.T.T, so I did watch some videos and learn a little about it. And I thought this time obviously with work too, I had to work, but I just thought it wasn't the best option for me because I didn't seem that it might be that effective for me. It seemed too similar to the previous cult to church relationship that I had of a community of a group of people going through different things, the delivery and the style of their message and how they, pressure, get people to the front and whatnot. Certain aspects of that, I just thought maybe I'm not ready / it didn't intrigue me. If I want to do something like that, I want to do it when I actually feel ready. Take myself seriously.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. The TMS program.
The TMS program. If I go to TMS, you go TMS hard, which is
What
taking.
is TMS?
Take myself seriously.
Yeah. So if you're gonna start a diet, you're gonna make a life change.
No, you do everything in one. Not to deviate from your
Yeah.
story for a bit there, but one day, just 2 weeks ago, I was like, all right, vaping, caffeine, nicotine, soda, carbs, Adderall, done. One day. Just like
You cold turkeyed all that at the same
All of it.
time?
cold salami all at one time.
Oh, good God.
That's a new thing. What's your 79 hard? Or
75 hard.
How old are you?
yeah.
50, 52 hard?
What?
How old are you?
55.
55 hard program. I was like, it's a whole new program, TMS. I'm just dropping everything. But
This man vaped a lot. This man drank 3 to 5 Diet Cokes in a day.
An hour.
Sometimes a lot. He would drink Diet Coke considerably, vaped often. Main food source was carbs, was
Yeah.
bread and
Well,
peanuts.
he's usually sitting in here vaping at the
Right.
podcast. I was
old me.
kind of surprised.
Please. You guys,
We got new and improved
Right.
don't
Kev.
judge me.
So he quit all of it a few weeks ago, and
How
I didn't
hard
believe
was
it
that?
till I'm waiting. He had a salad. Like the last couple of days, he's been eating
I
salad.
had many days of headaches,
I
like
bet.
4 or 5. And then I was like, I think I'm dying. But I didn't really, I started this like just by happenstance. And then I was like, why am I dying? And I'm like, oh, you haven't had caffeine in 3 days. And I was like, well, I'm already halfway through it. So then I sweated it out, suffered. And then I popped down the other side. And now I'm like,
And what's your goal here?
no, just to brag.
Okay.
It's nothing more than to just, when they're
There's
like,
no
did you-"
love goal.
how did
He
you-
wants bragging rights.
Yeah,
There you
just
go.
be like, it's easy. You just do it.
Do you
Yeah.
feel better?
Yeah, I feel great.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going your story. You don't like being yelled at. and high pressure of anything.
Yeah, high pressure. Well, yeah. So that kind of deterred me from it. But I think that there's a time and place for that sense of community or that sense of involvement, and it depends on the topics in which they go through. So I know that they go through different maybe traumatic events or experiences or emotional connection and intelligent levels. And that's just not my personal preference style of learning right now. It would be more of a classroom or professor style or, video montage or something. I don't necessarily prefer that at this time in my life. It's not to say that I wouldn't be interested in doing it in the future. And I'd love to hear your take or hear anyone's because she did love it. Kimmy explained it as there was a time before the class and then there was a time after class. And that was a pivotal change or moment in her life that she recalls. I think people can say that about a handful of situations in their life. So if it's significant to anyone, I want to support it. And it has mixed reviews online. Obviously in some platforms and forums, it's all positive, but there are a handful. And there's a few videos online where someone described it in depth. And when they described it in depth of the exact scenario, it did everything but encourage and inspire me. It actually I went the opposite. I was like, ooh, that is not my cup of tea. I'd feel comfortable in that setting. And it's not because of the weak mindset. It's more of, I don't want to even be involved in that right now. I don't need to be because I've addressed a lot of those other issues on a deeper level. But to be in a setting again where people are just kind of screaming at you or being in that, I don't know, that level of excitement, but in a certain manner, I just didn't think I wanted it this time.
If I could just jump in 1 second. The downside of the cult is that you go to an event where, like last night we saw this guy, Paul Stamets. He's like a Mr. Mushroom, the evolution of medicinal psilocybin and this whole thing. And the room is like, yeah. And, and you're like quiet, not clapping. I was like, she can't. Like you had to look on like anytime people clap in
get riled
consensus in concert, you're like, yeah, I don't like this. I'm like, you can be enthusiastic about something.
I can. There's an element to me that gets not trusting of the situation.
It's a resistance. And you know what?
Resistance.
I see that in Trucker too.
Yeah.
He had the same kind of upbringing in a religious cult.
Yeah.
And you just become by nature skeptical, leery,
of mobs.
resistant of,
Does he have a hard time in those kind of settings?
You don't want to be brainwashed. You don't want to be, like, I could probably never drag him in a church for any reason, not even for a family funeral, I don't think.
Right.
Because he's just so resistant.
How about a sporting event?
He
where
does.
they're all indoctrinated with the same
He does
love.
all right at sporting
Okay,
events.
so there's a
I
line.
love sports.
I
love
don't.
sports.
I don't think it's to that extreme.
Okay, yeah.
But was he allowed to like sports in his religion?
I don't know. I guess I
Because
could.
my
ask.
religion, we were allowed.
I don't think they could watch television.
Yeah, we couldn't. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
interesting.
sure he couldn't watch television.
What's your take, Marcus?
yeah, I want to
Okay.
hear. Marcus, tell us.
We'll get into that, and it's quite interesting. Lily discussed with me before I even went. She's like, yeah, I don't know if I can see you fighting this. I don't know if you're going to get much out of this.
We're very practical people, and we don't easily jump on the bandwagon because we're so strong-willed and strong-minded that I was like, he's just going to think this is a bunch of crap.
Yep.
Malarkey.
So
Yeah, malarkey. Exactly.
Kimmy she basically paid half of it, put the down payment on for a Christmas present for me. And I'm thinking, I don't want to do this. I don't have time to do this. I am slammed with work. I got so many issues going on I've got to take care of. I do not have time for a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sitting in this kumbaya seminar, and I did not want to do it. But Alejandra, she wanted to do this. She loves this type of stuff, and she was very motivated to experience this. And her birthday was last week, so I bought it for her birthday, and so we were going to go do it together. Now, you cannot do it, even though you're there together, you cannot be together. You have to be separated, and then they end up separating you in power groups, and then like you have a buddy, or it's two people.
Isn't it called like a guardian angel or something?
Well, and Kimmy was the angel because she's the one who
boy.
sponsored you into the seminar. the
okay, but she
training.
wasn't there interacting. She
No,
just came
she
for
wasn't there
graduation.
interacting. Now, there
Okay.
were some people that had gone through multiple programs who did kind of lead the groups. And I'll get into it. We'll talk about it, and I'll tell you exactly how my feelings were going into it, my feelings after it. Like you, Vivian, I'm looking at the reviews, mostly positive, but I go right to the 1 stars. I
Yep.
click on 1 star.
Same.
I want to hear
Same.
what these are. And
Yep.
a lot of the people were like, yeah, I was there for one day and they were doing this and this, and there's no way I'm going back. I talked to my therapist. He says, you need to get the hell out of there. This is bad, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't even finish the seminar. So I'm like, well, I've got to kind of discount a little bit of that because they didn't even see it through.
Right.
Right. I tell Alejandra, I'm like, look, from what I'm reading and the video, probably watch the same YouTube video. Mm-hmm. And she didn't even make it past day one, or she made it through day one, the one I watched. But she was pretty convincing, like, this is not good. Mm-hmm. The way they're doing this, the structuring, people are crying, people are not in good mental states. I just don't think you should be developing people this way. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm telling Alejandra, I really don't want to do this.
Yeah, you're like,
I am not excited to do this. She goes, just stop it. Be open-minded. It's going to be fine. Kimmy would never recommend you to do something that wouldn't be good for you.
That could be detrimental to you. Yeah.
I love having a accomplished vocabularist here because mine is so limited.
A grammarian.
Did I just make up a word? Vocabularist? Is that a word?
It is now.
It is now.
Yep.
But anyway.
President Marcus says it is.
I said, fuck it. We're going to do this. I'm going to go through the program, and I'm going to give an honest review of all this bullshit that I've been reading online. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to fall into this kumbaya, let's love the world bullshit that they're going to be forcing down my throat, whatever. But one thing that, I mentioned before, my wife went through a similar thing, my ex-wife, during our divorce, and she went out of the car. Again, they forced her to read this to me, something on a piece of paper. But she called me and said, hey, do you have a minute? I need to talk to you. And we were not on good terms. We were barely on speaking terms. I mean, we were trying to get through this divorce, and it was not pretty. And she read something to me, and I had to sit down. I had been waiting 16 years to hear this from her mouth. Basically, her taking accountability for her own happiness instead of blaming me for not making her happy the entire time. And if she would have taken accountability for her own happiness throughout her own marriage, instead of feeling like everything that I had to do to make her happy, I wasn't accomplishing, and so it was my fault somehow that she wasn't happy. And it just tore our marriage apart. It was just no fun. So anyway, she read those words to me, and then she invited me to her graduation, and then I went. And it was good. I could tell some people really got a lot out of the seminar, and then they tried to force me into signing up. Like, they really pressured me into signing up on Landmark, and I'm resistant. I'm like, no, I'm in a good place. Mentally, I don't need this. I'm good. So I resisted, and I didn't go. And she's like, oh, I really think you need to go. I'm like, no, I am not going. I'm fine. I feel fine. I'm happy with my life. Kumbaya. Love the world. We're doing great. So I didn't go. Kind of the way I felt going into it last week. I am fine with it. I've done the therapy. I've been through the broken relationships. I did the therapy. I came out of it a stronger, better person. What am I going to get out of this? So anyway, we go, and it's an interesting crowd. It was $695, and there was 140 people, and it was people from all walks of life, all colors. There was a professional basketball player there. It was very obvious. He was like 6'8". It was a brother from another mother. He had a basketball name. I almost said it.
Was it Jamal?
No. There were actors, people that were in Hollywood that were there. And then there was just your run-of-the-Joe taxi cab drivers. There was people from all walks of life. Let's just put it this way. So anyway, they get you in a big room, and they're like, everybody towards the front, fill the front seats first, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, here we go. Yeah. I'm going to get through this nightmare for the next 3 days.
Did you sit in the front?
What do you think, Lily?
I know at the comedy clubs, you sit in the back so you don't get heckled.
Yeah. So where do you think I sat?
The back.
You're damn right. I am not a front seat sitter. Alejandra is. She loves getting in the front. I'm very resistant. I always want to be back. I like observing my surroundings, seeing the people. I just like watching things. So we get there. He talks for about an hour and a half. Now, granted, I've been through sales seminars. I've been through church things. I've been, church camps. I've been through quite a few things that, where they're trying to get you in a good frame of mind. And
did you ever speak in tongues at church camp? Because
no,
I
never did. Oh, you did?
I went to a Pentecostal church camp with the neighbor kids.
Vivian can tell you all about that.
And I spoke in tongues, and I was just making it up, but I was quite brainwashed at the moment that I needed to do that.
Yeah. So after that, and granted, from what I read through the online reviews and through the video reviews, that they get upset with you when you even go to the bathroom. Did not happen the whole time. If you need to go to the bathroom, you get up and go to the bathroom. Now, they encourage you to hold it as long as you can because they're giving you a lot of very important information. And if you're out in the hall or in the bathroom, you're not getting that. But they never made anybody feel like a lesser human being for going to the bathroom. And that's one thing I was worried about. Are we going to have enough break? Because I got the impression they were going to break you down and then build you back up. Kind of like brainwash you, right?
Right.
So we get there, and then after we were in like this group thing, and we have a break, and we come back, and then we're sitting there, and then you had to find one person in that room, and it could be anybody, couldn't be anybody you know, though. And then you had to do this exercise, most uncomfortable exercise. You had to sit face to face with them in a chair, your knees basically touching their knees, and you had to stare into their eyes. Just stare.
What's difficult about that?
Look deep into their soul. So, I mean, I ended up getting paired with a 55-year-old Vietnamese guy. He works for a very well-known company in Los Angeles, and he's done pretty well. He's about 5'4", 5'5", very nice, older Vietnamese guy who ended up...
You're 55.
Yeah, I know.
He's not older.
I know. I don't know what happened here. Somehow this 20-year-old's in a 55-year-old body. So anyway, we stare into each other's eyes, and then afterwards they say, okay, that is your buddy for the entire weekend. You and him. That's whoever it is, that's your buddy. So we get through that exercise, and then they put us in groups of 6 or 8, and that was our quote-unquote power group. So then all of a sudden now we're paired with some other people, and then somebody like Kimmy, who's gone through the program, there was about, let's say, 15 people like that, advanced people who had gone through. Then they kind of lead your group. So every group got a leader, and that was somebody that had already been through the program, been through the advanced program or whatever, and they kind of led the group. So now you're in groups of 8 or 6, and that's your power group. Then you go to lunch with them for 2.5 hours. You go to lunch with them, and they do these little exercises, and as much as you want to resist, once you start verbalizing, it's fine. And you get through it, and you kind of start verbalizing, and you start hearing the things that you want out of life. And then you start acknowledging some of the barriers that are in the way. It's nothing crazy, but it's just something that we don't force ourselves to do. So we get through day 1, and then they do a couple of exercises that are just uncomfortable. One of the exercises is you've got to stand across from somebody. So 140 people, and they got 70 people in a circle, all facing outwards, and then 70 people in a circle, all facing inwards, and directly across from you. And you didn't know who was going to be across from you. And you got to vote. You put your hand behind your back, and it's either 1, look away. You don't make any contact with them, which nobody did that. Number 2, just look at them, stare them in the eyes. Number 3, shake their hand, stare them in the eyes. And number 4, hug. So you vote. And then, so if I voted 4 and you voted 2, then we would do 2 is the lesser of it. Or if you didn't feel comfortable hugging, when you voted 3 and I voted 4, then we would just shake hands. Everybody was voting 4.
Yeah.
And so here I am hugging all these complete strangers, and I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. I don't feel like doing this,
Did
right?
you feel pressured to throw a 4?
Yeah, because the other people were throwing 4s, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be a jackass and throw a 3, because everybody was throwing 4s.
Yeah, so you start throwing 4s.
So everybody started, and so then you give them a hug, and it lasts for a little bit, but you're staring them in the eyes, and then
While
you give them a hug.
hugging?
No, you're staring them in the eyes
Oh,
while
Oh
you're
my God.
voting,
That
and
would
then
be
you
so awkward.
and then you vote, and then you give each other a hug, and then they talk about something, and you go to the next person. So then the next person comes, and then you go through this process. And it was very uncomfortable for me because I'm not a big hugger, and I'm hugging all these people I don't know. But then after like 4 or 5 people, you started enjoying it, and you're like, all right, next person, let's get this, let's go. And so it kind of breaks through some of the barriers that people have about intimacy, or not really intimacy, but getting close to somebody as a human being.
letting people in your bubble.
Yeah, letting people in your
Marcus
bubble.
is
yeah.
a side hugger. He likes to side hug with
Right.
one arm.
Put you outside your comfort zone.
Some of the reviews I saw online and the videos, they're like, oh, they break you down. They keep you till midnight or even past. We were done before 10 o'clock every night.
So how long were the days?
It was from 10 in the morning till 10 at night. But then you got a 2.5 hour lunch break.
Okay.
And then you got 2 30-minute breaks during the day.
Okay.
It wasn't uncomfortable at all. I was expecting a lot of uncomfort, and it wasn't at all.
See, I would have expected it to be, compared to the reviews and some of the videos I watched, it seemed a lot different.
And the thing me and Alejandra talked about was, you see a movie come out and you see the critics give it 6 out of 10 stars, and then you see Rotten Tomatoes and the people give it like 92%. And you're like, the critic, you just almost got to experience it yourself.
Right.
Usually the people who experience it give or actually go through it.
Yeah.
So anyway, they just gave a lot of really good tools. Another one was, what do you want? So you stand across from somebody that you didn't know, and you have 1 minute, and they say, what do you want? And then you tell them, just out of life. You can start, it would be very superficial. Oh, I want a new truck. Well, what do you want? And then you just got to keep going deeper and deeper, and then they would go, what do you want? What do you want? And then you get down to like the real core of really what you, and like words are coming out of my mouth. I'm like, holy fuck, I guess that's what I want, because I didn't know it, but it just comes out because it's so fast you don't have time to think about it. And you just go deeper and deeper and deeper. Just exercises, things like that really make you think and, get you out of your comfort zone and get you more in touch with yourself.
How many kids did you want?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what I was going to ask.
We're not going to get into all of all the things that I got into what I wanted, but it did start centering around family.
Yeah.
I've never verbalized that really.
Yeah.
So there was some eye-opener things. Did I come out of it a changed man? I came out of it as a better person. There were people experiencing different levels.
Right.
There was some people
That's
that,
what
oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. I can't wait to tell all my friends and family about it. And there's a few people, and they're going, I don't want to do another exercise. This is bullshit. I just don't. There's just people fighting it, right?
Didn't you say some people left after the first day and never came back?
Yeah, there was a few people that just left. They didn't want to do it. They weren't there. Maybe their boyfriend or somebody was pressuring to do it. I know that there was this girl there, and Kimmy knew who she was because Kimmy went through the program with her boyfriend a few months ago. She goes, yeah, that girl, that's the girlfriend of him, and he was in my class. She didn't want to be there. She was fighting it tooth and nail. She didn't want to participate. She didn't want to. So you get out of it what you want to get out. There was no pressure for you to participate or not participate. You're going to get out of it. But if you pay $700, you might as well get out of it what you can. Now, one of the things that I really took away from the last day, well, I thought this was a cool exercise, was you got across from your buddy, and our trainer was like, all right, tell him everything you have to do on Monday morning. Okay, today's Sunday. Tell them everything you have to do. And, oh, my God, I got a shitload of stuff. I'm like, well, Monday morning I have to go evict a renter. I have to get this house on the market. I have to get out the 1099s for all my investors. I got to do this. I have to do this. And he's looking at me going, wow, you got a lot to do. So anyway, he did the same thing, right? So then our trainer's like, okay, now substitute have to with want to. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, and then it progressed. Okay, now it's still all the same things I get to. Oh, well, I get to do that, I get to this. And then finally, the top progression, he goes, all right, 1 more minute, all the same things you just said, I'm blessed to. And I'm like, well, I am blessed to go evict my renters. I'm blessed to go put this house on the market. I am blessed that I get to put out the 1099s for my, and you just look at it a completely different way when you do that. Instead of I have to, oh my God, I have to. I'm really blessed to be able to do this because a lot of people aren't.
Right.
Exercises like that. Now, do they pressure you into continuing the program, and is that uncomfortable? Yes. They do pressure you after the final day to continue to a 5-day advanced self-improvement seminar, which this one happened to be running through Phoenix Open. I've already got lots of plans. I don't have time. It's like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday type deal. I just don't have time. It's not that much. It's $1,100. I mean, for the amount of training you get and support and all this stuff, it's actually a bargain. The trainer was really, really good, and he was the same guy who was training this program. But man, do they pressure you to sign
It's like
up.
a transformational timeshare.
Yeah, and they almost don't want to take no for an answer. They'll take no, but then they'll keep trying to dive in deeper. Why you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And we're really, really trying to get you to. Now, is it for your good or is it for their good? I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Well, what was for lunch? Was it worth $695?
Well, you had to pay for your own lunch.
Did you go off
Oh,
site?
wait.
Or
Lunch
there?
wasn't included in that?
Well, no, I mean, they're not going to.
Did you go off site or you stay there for
We
lunch?
went off site.
Okay.
So it's in a hotel near the LAX
Got it.
airport,
Okay.
and there's tons of hotels. We ended up going to another hotel that had like a bar and grill. And I ended up watching a football game while I was sitting there doing the exercises, which was fine. But yeah, so you had this lunch with your group, and you end up getting really close to the group. Some of the people in my group, I would have never associated with these people. And now we're all friends we are on a WhatsApp group chat. We're friends on Instagram. And Alejandra really loved her group, and she just fell in love with her group, and they're very, very close because you go through this together. Mm-hmm. My takeaway, would I recommend it? 100%. Would I recommend it for anybody that works in my organization? 100%. Did it change my life? It gave me some tools to be a better boss, a better leader.
Like his neighbor.
Yeah, but it didn't.
I mean, Vivian's neighbor.
But it didn't per se change my life, but I certainly do look at things with a little bit different vision, which is good. Did it change other people's lives in there? Hell yes. Like there was a lot of people that were addicted to drugs. They had sexual abuse as kids, physical abuse, and they had all these things that they're holding on to. And they did a meditation. I won't get into it. It was a little bit longer, but they did this meditation where it kind of led you through the steps up the mountain into these rooms where you could deal with all these issues that you dealt with, tear off the armor that's preventing you from being a better person, and then come down the hill a new and improved person. Did I connect with that meditation exercise? No.
You were missing the psychedelics.
Yeah, I didn't really connect deeply with it, but there was people in my group who broke down sobbing who did.
Right, in those moments. Okay.
In those moments. And I saw a physical change in them, a physical and a mental change, even going to lunch the next day or whatever. And I saw their attitude completely change, and I saw them become more loving and open souls. So, do I recommend something like this? I do.
Okay.
Do I feel like it's a cult? I don't feel like it's a cult. It's something that everybody experiences together so they understand the experience they all went through. Just like when we have sugar dating parties, we have like this common bond.
Yep.
And matter of fact, Jay was in town yesterday. He had taken one of the girls he'd met at our party out to dinner, and he's sitting in my office and with me and Alejandra, and he's talking to us, and he's just like, this is just so nice. I can talk to you guys because nobody in my family, I can't talk about any of these experiences I'm having to anybody. They wouldn't understand them. So that's kind of the same community feeling it had. Yeah. So
Well, maybe
there's my take.
What if you got 30 sugar babies and formed a circle? You could implement these same practices.
Same exercises.
What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? I know if you're in sales, it's good tools. If you're starting a business, it's great tools. If you just want to be a better employee and a better person. So the tools that they gave you and the exercise they give, I didn't want to do a lot of them. I'm like, oh, fuck. I really don't want to do this one. And then after it's over, you're like, okay, it's not so bad. Oh, my God. One of them, one of our girls started crying. She was so just terrified of doing this. They had a Pharrell song, Happy. So they played 2 minutes of it, and your group had to form a dance, how do you say it? Choreographed dance to it. We sucked. Our groups, like we were sucked. But it didn't matter. All the groups did. And you just got out there and you did the best you can. Nobody was really judging you. Everybody was smiling. This girl, she was so terrified to get out in front of all these people that she almost broke down in tears. And she's a bodybuilder. Like she does competition and everything. And it just terrified her so much. She got out there. She got through it. And she's like, okay, it wasn't as bad as it was all going on in her head.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. Everybody had to do it. Even though you didn't want to do it. So it was kind of one of those things where they forced you kind of to do things you didn't want to do, but it was for your good.
Right.
Sounds cool.
But I didn't see nothing like what I read
Like
about.
we read, yeah.
No, nothing
there
about
are
those.
some-
I know.
She works for Landmark, the other lady.
No, I just didn't see And Alejandra didn't either. We were talking about it on our way home, and we're like, yeah, these reviews, I don't know. They just might not have been in a good mental state, or they just didn't like what they were being forced to do.
Forced,
But I didn't see anything that was against the betterment
So
of
how many
you.
follow-up classes are there they try to get you to purchase?
So there's a 5-day advanced, and then there's one other after that.
So there's 3 sets.
Like three.
Yeah, 3.
3 type deals.
What is Kimmy at? Do you know?
Kimmy's done the first 2.
The first 2.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And she's basically said, you know what? She didn't really like the advanced as much.
Yeah.
Because they really dive in deep. They go even deeper than they did in the base. You can only do so much in 3 days. In 5 days, they really, really go deep. She said, yeah, you know what? You don't have to do that one to get a lot out of this. And I said, well, I'm not. I'm not going to do that one.
Yeah.
No.
How long does the ayahuasca take? 1 day? 2 days?
Oh, what do you mean? Integration?
To accomplish the same thing.
Oh, yeah, just a night.
One night.
Yeah,
Two
it's a
nights.
day.
Here's what I find interesting. So our girl Vivian and our guy Trucker, absolutely resistant to maybe taking a course like this,
Yeah.
but absolutely open to the psychedelics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trucker's done it twice.
Yeah, so I've never done it till this year with Kev, and that's obviously been a thing that's been frowned upon is any kind of like drug use or whatnot for many years.
It's medicine.
Medicine, yes, but medicine. But because it's plant-based and because it's more looking at your inner soul and it's like your internalized, it's more than just your thoughts. It's more like subconscious levels, the things that you don't even know where it's at. Kind of like what you said, where people say, what do you want? What do you want? Some of those exercises, I think I'd have a good, easy time with. And for the most part, there could be someone that I'm uncomfortable with, but I would understand. And you keep it at such a conscious level. The psychedelics goes so much deeper and such a layer deeper in your subconscious and in the levels of your mind, body, soul, spirituality, everything. You can't even almost keep like a steady mindset because it's like something takes control over it and you kind of ride the wave, if you will, and you have an incredible experience and you come out of it. And it is incredible. I mean, I'd like to do it again. It's not something that I'd want to do it's not very kind of like that. It was work. It's not very fun. It feels like a deep, almost like shadow or soul work on your inner self. But it did change me and it did benefit me in a lot more ways than I thought it was going to. And the after effects as well for weeks to months. Now it's been a few months. We went on the beginning of November. But that's been a significant difference in my life.
All right. For some reason, I just remembered something you mentioned earlier, too, is about how they force people to get up and talk in front of people.
Yeah.
It wasn't forced.
Okay.
People did it. They had this exercise where they had a list of questions and things that you would go through. And you would basically raise your hand if you wanted to go up there. And they're like, encourage you, if you're afraid of public speaking, which 95% of people are, just raise your hand and do it and get through this barrier. And so people were going up there, and a lot of people just fell flat on their face. They didn't do well at all. But they got through it, and everybody was very, very supportive of them. Alejandra's back there with her hands in between her legs. She was not raising her hand for any because she did not want to go up there. And we didn't have the time for everybody to go up there anyway.
Yeah.
So there's 140 people. I think only like 15 or 20 people went up there the first time. Second day, they had a different kind of an exercise, and people could go up there and talk on that one. And again, only 10, 15 people went up there.
Now,
but
did they dive into any traumas?
In regards to like
Like
give me an
life
example.
traumas or anything like
Yeah,
that? Some
in
of
the
those reviews I read, like that they wanted traumatic experiences.
In the
bring this up.
meditation, they did.
Okay,
So in the meditation, they basically got you in a relaxed state, got you up a hill. You're envisioning all this stuff. And then once you got in a room, there's different rooms with different traumas, with your father, with your mother, whatever, right? And there's different traumas that you could enter,
Daddy issues.
take care of, and then leave the room. And then and
I've
I
got those.
I thought that was a very good exercise, although I didn't really have any issues with my mom.
Right.
My mom and I were very close. My dad and I did have some problems in the beginning, but we had already resolved those and worked through those, and he became like one of my best friends too. So I didn't really have to connect to a lot of those, but then, oh my God, on the hugging exercise though, one of the things, like when somebody's standing, he goes, all right, I want you to imagine this is your mother in front of you, and you're just staring deep into her soul, and you blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, that almost got me because, I lost my mother.
Bawled my eyeballs out.
And all of a sudden, I didn't even see this person in front of me. I'm looking into my mother's eyes. And
wow.
So there's, some pretty deep things like that. It was almost a joyful type thing.
Did it ever feel like hypnosis?
The mediation did a little bit.
The
Meditation did a little bit,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because they kind of get you into a hypnotic state. Nobody was hypnotized. It's relaxing to a point. And then it's almost like 3D. They're like, all right, you're driving a car, put your hands out and you're swerve left. And you actually are almost a 3D feeling like you're actually driving up the mountain. You're leaning back. You can feel yourself going up. And then you find this place with all these rooms. So I thought it was a really good exercise. I have nothing but high praise to say about it. And I knew Kimmy wasn't going to recommend something that was sketchy.
Yeah. I didn't think she would recommend, definitely. I trusted her, but in the same aspect, I also know that she doesn't necessarily know like much like Trucker, like our experience that we've gone through.
Right.
And then even after that experience, I've also gone 3 years of therapy, and I have done a 2-week trauma therapy class before. They went through a lot of similar, kind of like the exercise you were just saying.
Yeah.
It was with group settings, separate settings, one-on-one. So I have had some of those moments of deep down pulling things out or addressing traumas and then healing from it in like that 2-week course.
Yeah.
But that was more one-on-one with a smaller group of like 30 to 50 people at this one center that specialized. But that was years after. That was only a few years ago. It's very interesting.
Well, to wrap it up, I am glad I went. I resisted it, but I went in with an open mind, and I was like, well, I'm going to see if these reviews are right or not. And I'm telling you, I would give it a 5-star review. There's nobody there that I saw, even the people that were resisting it the most, who didn't get something out of it.
Yeah, something. Cool.
And a lot, some people, it will absolutely change their life for the better,
That's awesome.
which is a great thing. It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I was going to say there's probably a tail on it, right? You were there for the weekend, but you'll have those longer lasting effects of reminder of what you did there throughout your life.
Yeah. I experienced some things there, and then here's what I did. I'll tell you one thing I put into practice immediately. I'm rehabbing a home, and the guys are laying tile, and they're doing a terrible job, and I'm getting pissed off.
Yeah.
So I show up, they're not getting very far, they're not very productive, and I went to my workout, and I was so fired up, upset. And Alejandra calls me, and she's like, what are you creating today? How are you going to make today great? And I said, thanks, sponsor. Anyway, I said, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility for my guys not being as productive as they are. I'm going to go show them. We're going to get on the floor together. We're going to lay tile together. I'm going to show them exactly how I like it and give them an opportunity to do it correctly. So I did that. I got dirty. I got down. And you know what? They busted their ass, and they got like twice as much done.
That's awesome.
So
Sounds like a win.
there's my take from it.
Good. Okay.
Good creation.
All right. Well, I know we didn't talk much about sugar dating, but we talked about life, and this is life, right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Sugar dating is life.
Yeah. So you guys headed back to work?
Yeah, today.
East Coast? You headed back to East Coast?
East Coast this weekend. I'll be on the
Okay.
East Coast this weekend. Like I said, I'll be back there a week. My birthday then is the week after.
What?
I know. Day before Valentine's Day.
What?
Yeah. Kev, what's your plans for the next few months?
I'll be here, DC. My son's spring break is coming up. Man, he's going to graduate soon, which is crazy.
All right. Well, keep your ears open and eyes open. We are looking to figure out our next party. Justin
Thank God.
Timberlake had announced a concert in Phoenix. It's on a Tuesday.
When though?
Oh,
That's fine.
It's like
That's
in
fine.
May,
When?
I think.
also,
I was like, darn, that Tuesday's not going to work.
I
also
can do it.
So,
Olivia Rodrigo.
yeah.
She's got a concert coming up.
All right. So
Soon.
if you have any good ideas, and we talked about even going to do it in Vegas, because there's always something to do in
Yes.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Dude.
David Spade.
Genius. The genius. Keep going.
Yeah.
Go
So
Gee.
Is it landmark? I'll do it. I don't care.
look for announcements soon. We are still working on getting the next party plan, but it will definitely happen. So, all right, Lily.
I'm feeling transformed.
There you go. Thanks for listening to me.
I love
Thank you
all
for
of
sharing.
you.
All right. Well, if you guys, I've got some really good messages lately from our website and on Instagram. I haven't responded to all you guys, but one of them is a married couple. She met her husband on Seeking, and she just binge listened to all of our shows, or she's binge listening now, and she wants to come on. So we're going to get to you guys. I got a lot of good messages I just haven't had time to get back to, but keep sending those. We love getting messages from our listeners.
Forward them to me. I will get back to them.
Okay, I know I just need to get doing that. But yeah, if you want to share your crazy sugar dating stories, questions, or comments, go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. Follow us on Instagram and then Patreon too. We are loading up all the new episodes before anybody else gets to hear them, the full episode. So you get to listen to it long before anybody else gets to hear them. I'm trying to do that on the weekend. A few weeks ago, it was only on a Monday, but you still got to listen to it first because I was in LA the whole weekend. I couldn't get to it. But I've got some pictures from some past parties that we need to post in there. From the Taylor Swift concert.
Ooh.
I've got some great photos of that.
God.
And from the Dua Lipa concert 2 years ago. So we're going to post
Kev's in some of those
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. Anything else, guys?
No.
All right. Thanks. I know we ran long today.
It's all right.
All right. Until next time.
That's how we do.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.